Random House Audible presents Bang, Getting Your Message Heard in a Noisy World by Linda Kaplan Thaler and Robin Koval. Read for you by Deborah Marlowe. Chapter 1. What is a big bang, anyhow? These days, getting people to notice you isn't easy. The information age has morphed into information overload. Messages are everywhere, at the bottom of golf cups, on the putting green, flashing on ATM screens, even posted over urinals, an excellent product placement for Budweiser. People gazing out the window and flying into O'Hare a few years ago couldn't escape the colossal rooftop sign advertising Altoids. Urban strivers can now turn to promotional high-rise video screens to avoid the ever-dreaded elevator eye contact. Come-ons decorate coffee cups, umbrellas, commuter train schedules, shopping carts, delivery trucks, lampposts. We even put an ad at the bottom of this page. If you liked the first page, you'll love the rest. Buy the Bang book today. So how do you get heard? How does your company connect with the consumer? You need a big bang. When the Kaplan Thaler Group opened for business 6 years ago, we knew that everything taught in Marketing 101 is no match for this daily deluge of data. We'd spent almost 2 decades creating campaigns that were tremendously successful, but we weren't exactly sure why. We knew that they were well-liked, communicated with our consumer, got remembered, even entertained. But before we could go much further, we needed to try to decipher the science behind our million-dollar ideas. We needed to understand what was unique about our way of thinking and working. We didn't want to feel that every time we approached a new campaign, we had to reinvent the wheel. Robin, who spends her spare time reading books that could top Mensa's advanced reading list, just happened to be boning up on cosmology at the time. "What about the Big Bang?" she suggested to me one day. "Isn't that the kind of work we do for our clients?" Okay, so advertising isn't rocket science. It may seem like a pretty big leap from physics to promoting shampoo, but the more we thought about it, the more it seemed like the right analogy. After all, our best ideas often come from seemingly random events. We work in a pressure cooker environment, and once released, our work tends to expand exponentially in the culture. And so, unknown to the Nobel Foundation in Sweden, the KTG Big Bang Theory was discovered. And it's worked. A Big Bang was responsible for nearly doubling the annual sales growth for AFLAC Insurance Company. A Big Bang took Herbal Essences from a nearly extinct shampoo to a $750 million worldwide brand. The Big Bang Theory has catapulted the Kaplan Thaler Group from a small business in the top floor of a townhouse to the fastest-growing agency among the top 100 in the United States. Starting with just $27 million in billings in 1997, we now have a roster of blue-chip clients with over $450 million in billings. So what exactly is a big bang in business? More to the point, how do you turn your company into a big bang factory? First, let's go back. Way back. In the beginning, say 15 billion years ago, give or take a few days if you factor in leap years, there were no planets, stars, or galaxies. There was simply blank emptiness. Think of the recent ABC fall lineup. One could interpret this state of non-being as a peaceful serenity, void of anything except, well, void. But nothing was further from the truth. In fact, this tabula rasa was seething with all the pent-up energy of a primordial explosion. As the physicist Trinh Xuan Thuan put it in The Birth of the Universe, The Big Bang and After. But you probably couldn't see all this seething because it was happening in a teeny-tiny space, about 1/3000th of an inch in diameter, a size difficult to visualize unless you've ever rented a studio apartment in Manhattan. And it was really, really hot. 10 to the 32nd degrees Kelvin, which would make even tankinis unwearable. Then, suddenly, a cosmic clock struck, and the whole universe exploded onto the scene, hurling out electric particles, photons, and other matter every which way. When matter was created, it was neutralized by antimatter, but luckily there was more matter than antimatter, or we'd all be the opposite of who we are today. But the universe didn't stop there. It just kept expanding and expanding and expanding. It spawned stars and planets and dark holes, and eventually spit out billions and billions of other universes. And slowly, certain chemical combos begat crude biological organisms, starting with the lowliest amoeba and working up to life forms as complex as plumbers and used car salesmen. For those of you who cut high school physics to smoke Marlboros behind the tennis courts, this was the original Big Bang. Well, a Big Bang in the marketplace is similar, minus a galaxy or two. The Real Thing, iMac, Just Do It, Gucci, Martha Stewart, The Sopranos, Starbucks. These are all Big Bangs. They all started out as an idea and rapidly went on to take over the cultural universe. In the early 1990s, for example, Gucci was a small manufacturer that had fallen out of favor with the fashionista crowd. Then they promoted a junior designer named Tom Ford. Now Gucci is a global synonym for fashion. Our Big Bang Theory has been so successful that we believe it is tailor-made for any company looking to increase market share exponentially. Why does your business need a Big Bang? A Big Bang is designed to help make a brand explode onto the marketplace virtually overnight. In this world of shrinking time frames and global competition, no one has the luxury of time to get the point across. Many clients are public companies, which means they live in a 90-day world, under tremendous pressure to produce results before the next quarterly earnings statement. A Big Bang creates an ever-expanding universe for a product and turns occasional users into fierce loyalists. A Big Bang cuts through the clutter and gets people to sit up and take notice. A Big Bang helps you to make the sale, close the deal, get the gig now. Here's why. A Big Bang disrupts. At its core, a Big Bang idea is about taking the spotlight. It is about ideas that are simply too outrageous, too different, too polarizing to go unnoticed. There's a sea of sameness out there. We're glutted with products and services. You can't go anywhere without seeing the same mind-numbing brands over and over again. Drive down the highway in California, and you'll pass by a strip mall with Gap, Barnes & Noble, Old Navy, the Home Depot, Bed Bath & Beyond, and a gas station. Go through a couple of stoplights, and the whole thing starts all over again. Was that last fast food joint a McDonald's or a Burger King? Who can tell the difference anymore? On a recent trip to Hong Kong, Robin, never one to pass up a shopping opportunity, brought back nothing. Here I was in this exotic city halfway around the world, she told me when she returned. I walked out my hotel room door ready to load up on Far Eastern exotica, and all I saw were signs that said Gucci, Chanel, Escada. What's the point of lugging all that stuff back to New York? Turns out that Hong Kong is just like New York, except that it has fewer Chinese restaurants. A Big Bang bucks conventional wisdom and stops people in their tracks. According to The Economist magazine, people see over 3,000 messages each day. But, like cooked spaghetti, only a couple of them stick to the wall. As a result, no one is sitting on the edge of his or her seat waiting to hear what you have to say. You need to disrupt the established paradigm to get through. Let us give you an illustration of a recent campaign that was wildly successful, primarily because it was so unexpected. In the weeks following the World Trade Center attacks, when tourists were staying away from New York City in droves, Phil Duesenberry, former chairman of BBDO North America, and Ted Sann, chief creative officer of BBDO New York, helped spearhead a campaign to convince people to come back to New York. The BBDO team started with the idea that everybody has a New York dream, remembers Duesenberry. So we wanted...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?